Welcome back, Leo Lions. This is Mrs. Morgan with today's lesson over adding and subtracting polynomials. So we're first going to talk about what a polynomial is, and I have some definitions here already. So first, get down. A polynomial is an expression consisting of many terms. Terms are always separated by plus and minus signs. So we could have actually one term, we could have multiple terms. So some examples of polynomials could be just a simple number like 5. We could also write a number with a variable, so maybe something like negative 6x. And then we could also have examples with multiple terms. So 4x squared minus 1 is a polynomial. Remember, terms are separated by plus or minus signs, so that example has 2 terms, 4x squared and minus 1. We could make them even longer, so something like 9x cubed plus 4x squared minus x minus 2. That is a polynomial with 4 terms. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is kind of 2 definitions in one there, polynomial and what terms are. Standard form. So standard form, we must write polynomials in a certain order, so alphabetical order, and the highest exponent comes first, and then it goes down decreasing from there. So if we want to write these in standard form, we want to find the term that has the highest exponent, and that comes first. Make sure the sign that is in front of it, now these are all positive, also stays with that term. So 2x squared plus 3x plus 1 is now written in standard form. Right, same thing here, 7k cubed, it is positive. Then we have k squared, so plus k squared, and we're just going in decreasing order now. The k has a minus sign in front of it, so don't forget that. And there it is in standard form. W cubed plus 5w squared, those two are already in order. Then minus w, and the constant always comes last. So the constant is just the number by itself. All right, pause there, see if you could do those last 3 on your own and write them in order. So this one, make sure you take that minus sign with the n cubed, so negative n cubed plus n plus 24. Number 5, this one gets tricky because there are a few, there's multiple variables in a couple of these terms. So alphabetical order, the a's have to come first. A cubed, that is the highest power on that. Now next we kind of transition into the b, so 5a squared plus, b squared, and then plus, we still have the 2ab here. So notice how those are now alphabetical order, and then the 2b cubed comes last. And sometimes you see those written in different ways. You may see the minus 2b cubed before that, but typically we go in decreasing order alphabetical. Next one, we have the highest exponent, 3, so negative c cubed. Again, we are going to transition from c to d, so negative 7c squared d squared. Then we have plus 5d cubed, and then plus 13. And degree, another definition here. The highest exponent of a monomial. So a monomial is one term, and we're going to talk about that here in a second. So if we just look at each individual term of the polynomial, so like a cubed would be a monomial. So that degree is 3. Now if there's multiple variables like this 5a squared b squared, then we add the exponents together, and that degree would be 4. The 2ab, those each have a power 1 on them, so we add them, and so that degree would be 2. And then the last one would just be 3. So it's the highest exponent of a monomial, or the sum of exponents with multiple variables, or like I said, we add them together. And then the highest degree of a term, that is the overall degree. So we have to know degrees because that's how we classify polynomials. So there's 2 different ways we classify polynomials. We can do it by the degree. So 0 degree would be like a constant, a number without any variable on it. So we're always looking at the exponent on the variable. So 0 degree is constant. If there's, let's say, just x, and there is no power, but we know there's a power of 1 on there, then that is what we call linear, like y equals mx plus b. Power of 2 on the variable, we call that a quadratic. A 3 on the variable is cubic. And then after that, there is one for the 4th degree here, but 4 and plus, we're going to say the 4th degree, 5th degree, so on. So after 3, we just say 5th degree, 6th degree. Now, all right, now the next part, number of terms. So one term, remember terms are separated by plus and minus signs, so we call that a monomial. Mono meaning 1. 2 terms, we call that a binomial. 3 terms, trinomial. And then again, once we get to 4, well then that we just simply call a polynomial. So if it has 4 or more terms, we call it a polynomial. So if we classify these examples below, so we have just the number 6. There's no variable on it, so we do not have a degree. The degree would be 0, so we would call that a constant. Then how many terms are there? There is just one term. It's just a number, so that is a monomial. I'm going to go straight below. 2 terms, and then our highest degree, we have a power of 1 on that p, so that is a linear classification for the degree, and then it is a binomial classifying by number of terms. Again, this next one has 2 terms. The highest degree is 3, so this is a cubic binomial. And pause here, see if you could get these 3 on the right. Number 8 has a power of 1, so that is linear. There is just one term there, so that is a monomial. Next one, we have 1, 2, 3 terms. The highest degree is the 2, so this is a quadratic trinomial. And last one, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. The highest degree is the 4, so we would say 4th degree. And since there are 4 terms, it is a polynomial. All right, now let's go to the second page and add and subtract some of these. So I've got 2 examples here at the top. When polynomials are separated by a plus sign, we can simply go through and find common like terms and add those together. So I'm going to start with the highest degree. So I have a negative x squared, and then I have a 2x squared. Those have the same variable, the same exponent, so we can combine those. Remember, there is a negative 1 in front of that, so negative 1 plus 2, we get 1x squared, or simply x squared. Next, we would go to the x's. I'm going to highlight those in a different color. So I have a negative 5x down here and an 11x here. So 11 minus 5, or 11 plus negative 5, we get a positive 6. So we'll write it as plus 6. And last one, our constant, we have a positive 13 minus 23. So we get negative 10 or minus 10. So x squared plus 6x minus 10. So you want to go through, find like terms, and combine them. Luckily, we have done some practice with this in class. Now, with this example, when we have subtraction, we have to distribute, there's really a negative 1 in there. We have to distribute that negative to all 3 of these terms. So we will actually want to rewrite this entire expression. 4x squared plus 5x, then we'll have minus 7x minus 3x squared minus 1. Those will all change to negatives because we are distributing that. So again, we're going to go through. The highest term is squared, so 4x squared minus 3x squared, we get 1x squared. Then we have 5x minus 7x. So we get negative 2x. And lastly, we have a minus 1 down here. There's no constant to combine this with, so we just simply leave it how it is, minus 1. And there that is. I'll do a couple more with you. We have the highest degree here is x plus 4x, so we get 5x. 5 minus 2, we get negative 2. K squared is our highest degree here, so k squared plus k squared. Remember, there are 1's in front of there, so that is 2k squared. Then we have negative 4k plus 9k, so that's a positive 5k. And lastly, we have our constants, 7 minus 3, which is positive 4. All right, I'm going to jump down. The next 4 examples are all adding, and I'm going to get down to some of these subtraction ones as well. So x squared plus 17x stay. This minus sign we will distribute. And once we do that, then it goes back to exactly what we've been doing. X squared minus 3x squared. So that becomes 1 minus 3 and negative 2x squared. And then we have 17x minus 5x that we can combine. So that becomes positive 12x. And one more before we do anything. Distribute that minus sign. Now here, a negative times a negative, it will switch to positive or plus 11s. And I'm going to go through alphabetically. The r should come first. So 5r minus 9r, we get negative 4r. And then we have negative 2s plus 11s. So that is positive 9s. And there you could pause the video, practice some of these on your own, see if you can get these correct. And I will show you the correct answers. I'm not going to do them all with you. 17 is p minus 7. 16, 12x minus 3y minus 7, 3a cubed, plus 6a squared minus 9a is the solution for 18. So those are all the addition ones, and you can check to see if you got those correct. 21, the c's actually cancel out, so it'll just be negative 22. Negative 2v squared minus v minus 1 for 23. 22, I'm kind of going backwards so that I can show you both of these answers at the same time. And then 24 is 3x minus 5y plus 13.